Oh, do you know? I'm not supposed to like introduce myself? Oh. Like, am I supposed to?
This is your intro. That's your intro.
All right, what's up? Jimmy P here with Cocky's Code.
And it was one of those things like straight out of a movie scene where I'm like, she's sitting here and I'm like, bleh, like all over her. Okay. Do you want to do it again?
Sundays are the worst day of the week. All of the food places are closed. Where are we supposed to eat on Sundays?
The Chick-fil-A line's like unreal. Like it's like going to Disney. And I was like, I was like the Disney tickets or something.
Every time I go, they're just like, we don't do the lettuce. Like we don't put the lettuce on. Are you sure you want the lettuce? And I'm like, yeah, I want the lettuce.
That's my last brain cell trying to get itself together.
What's it called? Payway? Is that what it's called? I thought that place is called Pee Wee. And I was like, hey, I wonder what that Pee Wee place is.
I hate Russell House. Like, I actually hate it.
You'd think, freshman rant. You think if someone is waiting in a long line in front of you, by the time they got to the register, they'd know what they want. Apparently freshmen this year don't know how to do that. So I'm waiting at this long ass line in Panera, and finally this girl in front of me gets to the front and he was like, what would you like, what can I get for you? She's like, what's good here? And I was like, what? And it was this basic ass white girl saying, no, what she's been up in there.
Russell House opinion, I am a senior. It wasn't super great last semester. I went to the weird Carolina food burger place tucked in the netherfold of like the back of the cafeteria where they don't talk to you. You just like tap on a machine on a screen, and then you wait 50 minutes and they like plop something down in front of you.
I had like a traumatic experience at Einstein's because I was waiting all morning for this bagel. Like I was so excited about it. And I wait in this long line to get my bagel. I finally get there and I order it and they're like, oh, like we don't have that. And I was like, oh, like that's totally fine. Like I'll just have this instead. They're like, oh, like we don't have that either. And I was like, okay, like that's fine. Like I'll have this. They're like, let me check if we have that. And she like walks in the back for like 10 minutes. She comes back and she just stands at the register. And she's just like, and I was like, so like, do you have it? And she was like, oh, no.
Highly offended. I think it's so very rude that the year after I'm off the meal plan, they decide to like vamp everything up. It's like, it's not like I lived off a horseshoe like every single day last year and like didn't have options like Panera.
I like it so far. Like I've been hearing a lot of things about it, like it's different from like last year, but so far so good except the lines. Like the lines are terrible.
First of all, I was very tired on the first day of class when I walked into Russell House for the first time, and it was kind of like a deer in headlights. Like I walked in, I was like, what is this? What's happening? I don't like it. It's different. I don't like change. I don't. And immediately, like, there's like a lot of movement going on at all times, but yet no one's moving because the lines are so long. But overall, I don't think it was a good concept to get rid of like the fast food style and get a bunch of restaurants because we're college kids, we're not patient, we're poor, I can't pay for all these things. Like I just want to get food and get out. I need to go to class. Irrelevant, whatever.
I actually don't mind Russell. I think the new Russell's like very chic and like modern looking. Like honestly, I kind of like the food options. The only thing that really sucks is the lines. Like that's gotta be a joke.
I was there for the Georgia game. There was actually a fight that broke out in the club room that I was stationed at. The best part was there was a Georgia fan, and they were winning. So I'm standing there, and the door opens up, and this guy comes out with his wife, and he's like, "Hey, you need to get someone in there because there's some guy going crazy as a Georgia fan." I'm like, "Well, you know, they do get rambunctious," and he's like, "I'm not joking," and I'm like, "Are you serious?" And then this guy, the Georgia fan, comes out with his wife, and he is clearly inebriated. He's like stumbling, and he's like, "Oh, I'm okay. They just walk right on by. And then like a minute later, 3 police officers show up, and they're like, "Where is he? Where did he go?" And I'm just like, "Just left." He went, and they went back inside to make sure, and they came back out, and he's like, "What happened? What happened in there?" And I was like, "Some guy, striped shirt, Georgia. Don't know."
Oh, it was a noon game, which is like so rude. Like why? And I'm like, I'm gonna ease myself into this. So I start out with mimosas, right? So then after mimosas, something inside of me told me to immediately transition to Jack Daniels. That was my first mistake. After that, we made another transition to vodka, which was like, now we're mixing, now we're going downhill. We got champagne, whiskey, vodka going on. It's just a bad time. So then I get to the tailgate and all they serve there is beer. So I'm like, all right, throwing them back. I do my first shotgun. And like, I'm like, oh, this went really bad. But like, yeah, I poured like the whole thing out, but I'm like, thank God, like, you know, I'm drunk, no one's gonna remember this. Yeah, I was mistaken. So next thing I know, my phone is blowing up. And I'm like this is bad, like I did something bad. So I'm looking at all my messages, everyone's like, yo, like you made it. And I'm like, what? They're like, you're on Old Row. And I'm like, I'm like, what? Like Old Row official? Like, and they're like, yeah. So I go onto Old Row and there's me shotgunning everything pouring out. # girls on game day.
So we passed this group of guys and don't know what happened. I have no clue what went down. But she walked away from the group of guys with another friend bawling. And I'm like, oh my God, sweetie, like everything's fine, you're okay. Like, look, we're up, we're winning. Like, don't worry about it, we're thriving, you're feeling good. Like, you were just fine. And like, we're here, we're in it. Like, we're not today. Get to it, like we meet this other girl, it's her birthday. And we're like, oh my God, happy birthday, blah. And then like all of a sudden, I think she's okay over here on my right. And I'm like, oh my God, happy birthday. And then all I hear is, ah! And like, it wasn't horrible. And like, Sweetie over here is doing great now, she's thriving.
I'd have to say the Georgia game from the other weekend was probably the worst. So I guess like leading up to the game, you know, the whole frat lot ticket fiasco, I was trying to get a frat lot through some unconventional, or frat lot code through some unconventional methods, but it did not succeed. I had to like go at midnight and try to log in, right? I got into the site and I about my pants. I was so excited. And then when I entered in my like email and my name and went to go pay, the site froze. And then they posted on their little Twitter that it sold out. And I was like, are you kidding me? I got on. So I emailed the frat lot thing and they ignored me, which was just kind of sad.
The game isn't even about to kick off. Like the game's like an hour, sweating, dying. And my friends go, we're leaving. And I was like, oh, okay. So we're leaving. So I leave, didn't even get to watch the game, still sweating. So we're going, and our Uber, literally as we're crossing, he like drives by us and he's like all the way over there. And I'm like, where are you going? And he like calls my friend, he's like, I'm like at the light, like can you come over here? So it's just like 3 ratchet girls. We're like running down the street before the light changes. And I'm like trying to open the door to the Uber and it's locked. And I'm like, sir. And he's like starting to drive off. And I'm like, I'm coming. And I like throw myself in the car and I was like, smooth. And he's like, so how was your day? And I was like, fantastic. Like, what do you think it is? It's not even noon and I'm sober, didn't get to watch the game, almost ate on like the road. I yelled at a cop by accident, and I'm upset.
The first game of this season, it was against Coastal. I was having fun, you know, I wasn't very drunk. Like I was like starting the day. I was like, oh, we're gonna have a nice first game day. I got to the frat lots. I like cut this little t-shirt. I was like, oh, cute, or whatever. And then I cut this little t-shirt, yeah. And then, so we go to the frat lots and I'm like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm pretty sober. Like this is a sober game day. And then I started going to the tents and then I was drinking things that didn't have names and I was drinking like mysterious things out of cups. And then somehow I ended up tripping over the train tracks. Didn't remember to put arms out first. I was incoherent enough that I don't remember to put arms first, so I just went. And elbow landed, face landed too, everything hit. I was like, okay, my elbow's fine. Like I was like, and then I was like, dang, that actually kind of hurts. And I was like, and more when I was like, it hurts. I was like, this is bad. Some boy came up to me and my friends and were like, oh, do you want me to take a picture of y'all? And I was like, and I had dirt all over my face, in my mouth. Like, I was like, can I just rub your shirt on my face? So I start wiping his shirt on my face and he's like, he's like, why? I'm wearing this shirt tonight. Like, I'm going downtown. Like, now I gotta wash it. I was like, okay. I'm still wiping it off. And I'm wearing a white shirt. So that little shirt, like, that I cut up, that was so cute. All dirt now.
With Coastal, one word, hot.
My first game day experience, we went to the game and there were people like passing out everywhere. And I was just like, Like I was pretty hydrated, like I was kind of living my best life, but my friend was like on the ground, like head on her knees. Like I was just like, oh my God. And I felt really bad because we went to the bathroom and I was like, I kind of want to get back out to the game. And she was like, I just need a second. And I was kind of pushing her. I felt really bad about it because she was not feeling good.
I wore this little cute number. I'd been planning on it. I was so excited. It was the Kentucky game. It was the blackout. I was like, yes. And I was so excited. And I went with like older girls that I knew. And so we went to the frat lots and that was like an experience. I walked in, I was like, is this heaven? And I was like, this dirty patch of just like tents and frat boys. I was like, is this heaven? And then I heard God say yes. And then, and then I just drank an excessive amount. And I remember the ice thing, like people drinking off that. People were like having me slap the bag. And I said, slap who? I was like, what is that? I was like, I don't know what slapping the bag is, but I did it. And then I was like, wow, I've been really like, I learned new culture that day. And it was like an experience.
Them canceling school wasn't a big deal to me, but the hurricane was kind of funny. They're telling me this storm is gonna rival the 1,000-year storm. It's gonna be crazy. You gotta get, my best friend, we actually went out to Walmart and he got this big jug of water. I bought a flashlight. We were ready. We were ready for the crap. And then the storm passes by and then it leaves. And then I'm just like, where's the storm?
I mean, I came back Monday, but I was like, I'm not going to my classes because I'm missing them, so my teachers can suck it. I mean, like, I'm paying you, so I'm gonna go to class when I want to, honestly.